If you're watching this on or before the October full moon, there's something really special happening with Venus right now. Venus is currently walking through the underworld, with it being in conjunction with Ketu, the south node. This means that everything related to Venus that you thought you have healed, such as self-love, confidence, love and relationship wounds, they're all going to be resurfacing so that you can fully heal and integrate these wounds. Ketu is your deepest, darkest shadows, that which you most repress and want to ignore and walk away from and not face. So with this conjunction, everything Venus related is going to be faced with its shadows. This means your romantic relationships will be affected, your self-love, your confidence, your inner power, your inner sovereignty, your connection to occult wisdom and power, your ability to create money, to create pleasure and enjoyment in your life. All these areas of your life are going to be tested and probably triggered, and if you have any wounds around these specific things in your life, they're going to come to the surface. It may even affect your physical beauty and your self-confidence and your aura. And also there's going to be a lot of evil eye attacks during this time, and you may also give a lot of evil eye during this time. So be really mindful of how you're using your life force, and also protect yourself and your aura, because Venus also is related to envy and to the evil eye. This is not something to be afraid of, and I'm not trying to fearmonger. All you need to do is to be very aware of your shadows, and with the things that are going to come up and trigger you, try to integrate these wounds and these shadows into your being instead of trying to reject them and suppress them and ignore them, because that's not going to work. And this is the perfect time to heal these wounds, because you have this conjunction happening naturally in the cosmos, and you can unite it within yourself more easily during this time. This only happens about once a year, so make good use of this time while it's here. This will be happening until October 9th, so during the full moon is a super powerful time to heal these wounds, as the full moon helps you release anything that is no longer serving you, and it's a really good time to purify and cleanse. If you have a lot of shadows that you haven't integrated or acknowledged, you might experience a lot of self-sabotage during this time. Be aware of your instincts, your karmic behaviors, which are all related to Ketu or the South Node, and how they will be affecting the areas of your life related to Venus. With Ketu being aligned with Venus, it can also create a diminishing of Venus's powers, as Ketu diminishes anything it's in contact with. So you may feel your beauty is diminished, your love, your pleasure, your connection to occult power and inner sovereignty. These things may feel diminished at this time, but they're not. They're just going into a descent so that you can experience a death and rebirth, coming back stronger and more powerful with your wounds now integrated. Just like the goddess Inanna, who is related to Venus when she descends into the underworld. At each of the 7 gates in the underworld, Inanna is stripped of her crown, her jewels, and her garments, which are all symbols of her Venusian powers. Similarly, Ketu will be diminishing Venus's powers during this time. Her usual charm, strength, and sensuality and power will be stripped away, leaving you feeling very exposed and vulnerable and insecure, and also diminishing your ability to access pleasure and self-worth. But this inner stripping allows for self-sovereignty to come to light. It's not something to fear, it's something to work with, and we can always gain from these death and rebirth cycles if we're not afraid to engage with them, and if we're not afraid to face ourselves. And one last thing to note during this time is that past relationships, romantic relationships that have been harmful for you will possibly come back during this time, because it's your wounds resurfacing to test you, to see if you've learned your lesson, to see if you are going to act differently this time, if you have integrated your shadow. If not, it will retest you. But this is not something to fear, and it's actually a positive thing, even though it's going to feel really intense, and a lot of us are probably feeling very emotionally drained and having a lot of triggers and low confidence and self-worth issues coming up at this time. This full moon is also in the last nakshatra of Revati, so it really symbolizes a completion cycle, and it's just the perfect time to really complete the cycle of healing any kind of wounds or triggers and solidify any endings that need to occur.